To be able to share all these people that have come into our life, and we get the question so many times, and Danny does too, that, you know, what's the greatest place you've been? What's the neatest thing you've seen? And we have to shake our head and say, it's the people we meet. On liberty is something, when you're in the Navy or the Marine Corps on the weekend, you're on liberty. So we wanted to tie, I'm a Marine, and we wanted to tie that into our name as we were trying to find names and finding so many that were taken. And eventually that was the best fit for us. We started out on this great adventure with Danny, myself, and my other son, Aiden, and I have been raising both the boys since they were 2 and 4 by myself, going through a lot of medical treatment and things up at Quantico, Virginia, and Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And we also have our good friend, Jameson, who travels with us. I entered the delayed enlistment program in 1995 and went to boot camp days after I graduated from high school. Went to various schools and other things, and then obviously I had other aspirations, but you know, I broke my neck, I broke my back, and had brain injuries that obviously cut my career short. I have to make a couple trips back to the hospital a year, and during COVID, one of those episodes happened and unfortunately incurred a lot of medical bills. And ultimately, the decision was made to sell our house to pay for these things. And we sold our house. We sold almost all of our possessions down to about a backpack apiece and a keepsake box. That really started the journey on to, we didn't know where we were going to go, what we were going to do, but we were trying to get our feet replanted. We sent out an email to dozens of dealers within a 500-mile radius, and Camping World of Asheville, North Carolina was the first to respond. And it was a funny situation because they didn't say hello. They answered the phone and said, "Are you really a Marine?" And I said, "Yeah." And they gave us a great price. So we jumped in the truck and drove 4 hours to Asheville, North Carolina. It was for Montana. And originally I told the dealership, this is not in my price range. It's just not gonna fit our budget. But with the price the guys at Camping World gave us, it fell into place. And as that weekend came to an end, I sat down and I said to Danny, "You wanna see the national parks all the way up the coast? You wanna go see all the people we haven't had a chance to see?" And he says, "Yeah, let's do this." That really started this adventure as we moved on. One of the hardest things in coming back to the civilian world is you lose that true sense of community. The military community is much tighter because if you meet veterans, they tend to attract each other, and you know, like there's a magnetism there almost. We find each other, and again, it's easy for us to become friends, and you know, but coming back to the other side of the world, it's a little different. We started pulling into Harvest Host and meeting the nicest people. And I love the Harvest Host program because not only do you have a place to stay, but you're helping small business America. But when we moved up to Eureka Farms, Hollis and Seth treat you like family. You know, there are only 2 rules when you come to stay with them is treat it like it's home and have fun. And they really mean it. And so when we went back the 3rd time, I guess it was, the 3rd time, they offered if Danny wanted to give a hand on the farm, and he had some daily jobs and things that he got to learn.
Well, at first it was just pulling weeds in the garden, helping plant the garden, stuff like that, tending it. And then it moved on to weed whacking where it needed to get trimmed down. And then they decided that they would have me start collecting the eggs from the chickens every morning and feeding the chickens.
They helped almost put these pieces back together and restore faith in everybody, and because you truly get that family feeling and friendship, you don't want to leave. You know, but the nature of what we're doing is we will leave, you know, and hopefully we come back and we see everybody again, but the hard part is definitely leaving. So when we arrived at Hershey and we met everyone with Keystone, Colin was with Montana, we had a Montana, and he did try to keep us with Montana, but I said, look, you know, I really need something where Danny's gonna have his own bedroom, where Danny's gonna have his own space, and that kind of directed us towards toy haulers. It was every single day we were going through and looking at the floor plan again and taking measurements and trying to figure out, you know, what we were gonna do with, again, with a solar system, obviously. And when we arrived and met Colin, he took us over to meet Ian and Nick at Fusion. And the first Fusion we walked into happened to be the brand new 421. It was the first time it was shown. It was the prototype that had been brought to Hershey. We decided to go to the Fusion and we started the process, and obviously we still want a boondock. That's where our life is. It's what we enjoy. And I started kicking ideas back and forth, and I sent some of those to Keystone. And, you know, again, this was really not just about functional. We're gonna hit this one out of the park. We were gonna make it something to talk about really pretty. And then we got introduced to Matt, and it became a partnership with the Future Solutions and us. And so they actually took Danny up when they installed solar panels and taught him some stuff that I can't get up there and do anymore, and included him in part of the build. But I will say, when Matt and the team at Future Solutions got a hold of this, there was kind of some elbow in of, all right, well, we like what you're doing, but we're gonna take it to another level. And the comment kept coming of, yeah, we're gonna make this a showpiece. And they really did. One of the only things that was important to me is Danny loves the Back to the Future movies. He loves cars and he likes Doc's DeLorean. And we had found that 12 volt
flux capacitor.
This turned out amazing. Like, it's truly something special. Besides the fact that it all is functional, we can run anything and everything we want. These guys are really special. They're really good people.
When you get somebody like that and you really want to kind of embrace it, that sort of stuff, it's really easy for these guys who have all kind of come from different backgrounds and maybe not had the traditional path to really relate. But it's basically a brotherhood out here. So, and Dave and Danny, and Danny's great, you know. Danny was helping, he'll do anything. He's the nicest kid in the world.
I will forever be grateful to everybody here, from Matt to all of them, every single guy here. They went above and beyond, and, you know, down to little things that I will forever be grateful to all of them. When we leave out of Indiana, our goal is to head across Ohio through the Finger Lakes and back up to Maine for a little bit and stop and see all of the harvest hosts along the way that we did and find some new ones. And then we will return out here to the rally in August. We just want to see blue collar America not go to Disney on that $10,000 hotel stuff, to take their RV, to go to the lake, to go to the boondocking, to go to the mountains and put down the phone and actually make a memory, because the time with your kid goes really fast. We don't have to really have a plan. We can just keep going.